Okay, so good evening to all present here. I am Mudassir Hussain. Take the honor to welcome you all to the first podcast of KALAKSHETRA Presents That's My Story, powered by Qatar Trade and Transport Company. So when the team members of KALAKSHETRA sat down to plan this interview series over Google Meet call, we went over a lot of names for it. And I thought as a participant of many cultural events in SMIT, be it the Kalarav, be it KALAKSHETRA, I've seen many participants and many students who have had the dream of becoming a musician themselves or a photographer themselves one day. And we believe in KALAKSHETRA that bringing them closer to the artists that have actually made it and sharing their stories with these budding artists will really inspire them. And it will not only inspire them, but it will also show them a roadmap, which will help them in their journey forward and achieving a dream that they really want to. So with that, I present to you, That's My Story. Now, the guest that we have today with us is one of India's most prominent musicians and the lead vocalist and guitarist of the band that shook all of us to the core at Kalarav 2020, which is As We Keep Searching. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have with us the one and only, very talented, Uddipan Sarmah.
Hi.
Hi there. So, Uddipan sir, it's an honor to have you here with us, and thank you so much for joining with us. You won't believe how many fans we have in SMIT of As We Keep Searching, and I believe everybody in the chat is very excited to be in the stream today. So thank you so much for joining.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me. I still remember everything about SMIT, and it was fantastic whenever we were there. I forgot the date and time, but it was a great experience, I remember.
Okay, okay. And I believe coming to Sikkim was also an amazing experience.
Yeah, we were there very briefly. Like we came in the
Yes,
morning, did the show, and the next morning itself, early morning, we had to leave because we were playing in Kolkata. I remember.
yes,
So
yes,
definitely there are like pros and cons of being touring musician. You get
yes, yes,
to visit places, but sometimes you get to visit not much with lot of time to explore the city.
yes.
However, I have been to Sikkim couple of times, so not
Okay,
with
okay,
the
that's good.
band, but individually I have explored it a bit.
Yes, yes,
Fantastic.
yes. And you were also in NIT before you came to SMIT, if I'm not wrong, while you're
And
touring.
yeah, I think so. I don't
Yes, you.
remember most of the things
Yes,
that
yes,
we did back to back, like with time and lot of shows in the calendar, you tend to forget how the tour was.
yes, yes. You must really miss that life. I
I have almost forgotten how it felt. So, so as of now, yeah, I'm not missing it, but I'm sure like the moment things open up and we are back on road, I would be enjoying it exactly the same how I used to.
Okay, okay. Currently, you are in Goa, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yes, I have shifted to Goa and been here from 6 months now, and I plan to be here moving forward.
Okay, okay, okay. And you have started working again, right? You're writing the new album also.
Yeah, so we are in the process of recording scratches. So in
Okay,
this stage, we record many songs, but most of them will be deleted, will be removed, but only handful of them will make it to the album. So we are in the phase where we are constantly trying out new ideas.
yes.
So yeah, the process has started. The process may
Okay,
last for a month or it may last for 2 or 3 years.
okay, okay. We're really looking forward to. We'll get back to your album also. We're really looking forward to it.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, as the name of the show goes, that's my story, and we all want to know how you actually started. You're born in the city of Kibohagar or Sibsagar, and from there, you had a dream of becoming an actor initially, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I have mentioned it couple of times for sure. Where did
Yes,
you
yes.
where did you get to know about this?
Google and also many interviews in YouTube. I checked
Okay,
it.
okay, yeah.
So, what inspired you to be an actor at
So
first?
I never wanted to be an actor, but it was
Okay,
more of being part of the school community where you are made to be on stage doing some skits or plays during house competition or even assemblies where your house is responsible to do something cultural.
okay,
So
okay, I remember that.
yeah, so I was part of the whole team who were excited about being on stage and writing the script on stage and doing everything real time. We never used to have rehearsals, so
Okay,
it built a different confidence in us in terms of being proactive and being instinct with acting. Like
okay,
even if we haven't practiced, we can still go and hold a crowd. And now that I'm talking about it, I can definitely relate how holding a crowd, because me as a musician and a front man, I need to hold the crowd, because if I'm not holding the crowd, they might lose interest in our complete show.
yes.
So I think it started back then when it was no rehearsal, no script, but go on stage and start acting.
Okay, that
So
relates to music as well, like improvising on stage as soon as something bad happens.
oh, but music for me, it is completely different.
Okay,
I can probably improvise with vocals, but if you have to ask me with playing guitar, I never consider myself as guitarist, so I can't improvise on stage. I have to
okay,
know,
okay, okay,
or I have to do my homework really well to perform up to an expectation.
okay,
But
okay, okay.
acting, it was different when I was doing it in school. So from there, yeah, so that art, and my mother used to act. She used to do, she even did a series when in her younger days, and she used to act in plays in Sibsagar.
Okay, okay, okay. And even your father was in music, if I'm not
He was not in music. He still sings,
wrong. Okay,
and
okay,
yeah, it's I think it was a passion to him which he never took full time.
okay,
So
okay,
it
okay.
always remained a hobby.
So, did you have any prior experience in music in your school days?
No, not really. I grew up watching my dad singing for sure, and
Okay.
with time, I also saw my dad and my sister singing together because my sister was learning classical music.
Okay.
So I think music was all around that, and I had a set of friends who were very interested in going to Guwahati from Sibsagar and buying the cassettes. At that
Okay.
time,
Okay.
we had all like $150 for each cassette, and you don't find it in Sibsagar. If you have to buy Backstreet Boys, you have to find someone to go to Guwahati, or you yourself have to come to
It was
Guwahati.
there was Planet M, right? I think I remember.
Oh, Planet M came really late. For us, it was the local store in Polton Bazaar. So
Yes, yes, I
somehow,
remember.
yeah, the
They
small,
used to
small
sell those
stores.
CDs also. We could
CD
rent those
came
CDs.
much later, but when I was
Okay,
in
okay,
school and in Sibsagar, then it was all about cassettes.
okay, okay, okay. So, what type of music were your friends into that you started listening to later on?
I started with straightforward pop songs, Backstreet Boys
Okay,
and NSYNC, Boyzone,
okay, okay,
and all my friends were into the same kind of music. I think I got into rock because of Linkin Park and then Creed, and then eventually I got into heavier stuff with Korn.
okay,
So
okay. Scorn is one. Hello.
yeah, so that was my transition. But I found music inspiration to actually push my boundaries was in college when I heard this band called In Flames.
Yes, yes,
It's a
Inflames. Yes,
metal band. Yeah,
they are a doom metal band, if I'm not wrong. I think they fall
melodic,
into that melodic. Okay,
melodic.
okay.
Yeah,
Melodic death metal, I guess.
yeah.
Okay, okay. So, from what happened in college exactly that led to you forming a band, and how did that college life like influence your life in total?
I think all of even you guys are in college. You guys would know it better.
Yes,
That
yes,
college is also always fun. You know, like something or the other is always happening around because there are like so many friends, and it's a very critical stage in your life where you are pumped up with a lot of energy, a lot of inspiration, a lot of dreams. So our body and our hormones react in a different way, for which we are way too happier
yes,
than
yes. And way
than
too excited.
usual, way too excited or way too sad, like everything, the whole curve
Extremes.
goes. So all are extremes, and at that point of time I think uh, finding a rehearsal room and then watching some of the guys going and calling themselves as a band, because
Yes, yes.
I was never part of a band until then. So calling themselves as a band, it looked cool, at the end of the day. And
I
it,
can
it's the
totally
still
relate to that.
it's still the same. I
Yes,
think
yes,
all the kids, when I you have invited me, probably you would think that a band is cool, and that's how the journey starts, and it started the same way for me as well.
yes, yes. I can totally relate because we have a band in college and I'm the guitarist of it. And we have
Yeah.
performed a lot. And those rehearsal rooms and jam sessions and getting permission for drums and all,
Yeah.
that's
And
one hell of a thing.
if the other band comes and break your drum skin and you
Oh
can't
my God.
perform, and then who did it? And now you have WhatsApp, now you have internet, but then we never had WhatsApp or anything. We had to top up to send SMS.
Yes,
So
yes.
that was
One
the
SMS,
time.
1 rupee kind of.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah.
Yes, yes.
But it was fun. It was fun in terms of whatever just happened. It was never specific that I can say this is the reason why I'm doing it. This is the reason why I got into music. It just
It
probably I
just
was
came.
surrounded by same energy people who
Yes, yes.
got us moving in a particular direction, and we just nestled around each other to connect well with music.
Okay. What kind of music were you playing in college?
Metal,
Metal,
straight up metal. Yeah.
like Metallica and Megadeth.
No. So I was into As I Lay Dying, more
Okay, okay.
melodic stuff,
Okay,
and
okay.
yeah, more. What was it called? Post hardcore,
Hardcore, metalcore, post rock.
metalcore. Yes,
Yes, metalcore.
metalcore.
Metalcore is the word for it.
Kill switch, engage,
Kill
and
Switch,
stuff like that.
Engage, and
Yeah,
A7X. I guess A7X was starting out back then.
yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes. And would you would you agree that you have mellowed down over the time?
I think, yeah, definitely. You know, like with time, with experience, with how your life changes. Look
Yes,
into the past 2 years, how our life has changed. No one
yes,
expected that. And I'm
true.
talking about like 10 years of my life. So definitely I have mellowed down. So the whole journey has taken me off different directions, different moments, different inspiration. So everything put together, this is the right version that I am.
Yes, 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 true, true, true. Even when I started off, I was totally into heavy metal. Now I am into John Mayer and blues. So it's
I
it's
think,
changed a lot for me.
yeah, I know, but that is not called mellowed down alone because, okay, like we tend to put heavy metal as anger always, and
Yes, yes, yes.
John Mayer say pop. Okay, that's not
Okay,
mellowed down actually.
okay,
That's
okay.
just a variation of your taste and what you prefer listening to. Because I have also seen people as heavy as listening to metal and as heavy as listening to John Mayer. You know, like they would be still raging every day.
Okay, okay.
So music, I don't know if it completely plays the role. I think it's also in the person. It
Yes, yes,
even if someone is listening to metal, they might be crying. You know, it
yes,
just
true,
hits
true,
your
true.
emotion in a different way. While
Yes,
listening
yes,
to probably Britney Spears or someone a sad song from Celine Dion, and you might be crying the same way.
yes, true, true, true. Now, after college, I think you released your first track, Zindagi. You also shot a music video for it.
Yeah, yeah.
How did that happen? And it was a very metalcore-ish, like that vibe. It had that vibe, classic 2000s vibe in it.
It was from the 2000s in terms of like 2009 or something when I made that song.
Okay,
So,
okay, okay.
uh, but it happened in a very bound to happen kind of a situation where I was working, I was not happy with my job, and then I thought that whatever songs I have been playing at my acoustic, I should record them. So,
Yes, yes,
and I learned how to record it. I learned everything online on YouTube. I still remember YouTube hardly had widescreen videos then. Those were like small,
yes, yes,
one ish to one kind of a thing. But I learned there. I recorded my album on my own, and then
okay,
eventually mixed and mastered and just released it. I had a friend who helped me in Bangalore. I was in Bangalore then,
yes, yes,
so it was just that let's do it now with time. I think that's what matters, right? When you don't think much, you actually do it.
yes. True.
So
Overthinking kind of
yeah,
lowers the
yeah,
creativity, and
which I'm facing now. You know, like I'm overthinking. I'm unable to release. I'm unable to decide what I want. So
yes, yes,
that's why a child mind is way better than a adult's mind because child is all about the flow and not fearing of execution. You know, now we fear about execution.
it's a
What will
lot of
happen?
factors when you grow up.
Yeah, we bring too many insights into the picture, which is not needed.
Exactly, exactly. And
But the hardest part is that I know, but still can't find a solution. You know, like that's the point. But then it was more about feeling it and just doing it.
letting it out.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. And you talked about recording. How has recording changed from back then? Because now obviously it's much more easier, I believe.
Yeah, now it is much more easier, but at the same time, now the competition is also a lot because everybody is mixing and mastering, or everybody is with amazing gear and
Exactly, true.
accessibility. Earlier, accessibility was less, but competition was also less. So, I think everything is relatable to each other. So, there is nothing like earlier the times were better, now the times are hard. It's just that nothing moves in one direction alone. It's just the whole society that moves together. And with society comes technology, development, and human minds, the way climate changes our body, and everything put together.
Yes,
So things have definitely changed. Things have changed in better ways, I think. There is always pros and cons, but I think everything has changed in terms of technology in a better way because you can rent out plugins now and record and then use
Yes,
and render and
true.
release your song.
And people
So
download it pirately and all,
yeah,
without paying for it actually. And how
yeah,
is the music scene from there? You were in Bangalore, right? And Bangalore had a very heavy metal scene back then, if I'm not
yeah,
wrong.
yeah.
Now it's gone to more of a rap kind of a environment, if I'm not wrong.
Hmm. No, I don't know what it has gone to now because I don't live there. So
Okay,
it,
okay.
it it won't be wise to judge a place if I'm not living there and exploring myself. Otherwise, earlier, yes, but it was fun. Earlier, it used to be like super fun of going and watching every band who is playing metal. So there is no band who is not playing metal. But and suddenly, if one band comes with clean tone, then everybody will be like, "Ah, who is this? Who are these guys?" So so yeah, earlier it was fun because all the colleges used to have competitions and many good bands were participating. So
Okay.
recently, I was in a college competition somewhere because of performance itself, and I saw the bands playing. So that drive which was there in 2006 7, I didn't
Yes.
see the same drive in college competition bands
Now,
now. Yeah.
earlier it was a lot heavier. Even Guwahati had that metal scene back then. We had bands
No,
like
earlier it was true. Earlier it was no expectations about social media, YouTube, and Instagram, but still doing it. So that was the truth in it, honesty. But now, if you're making a band, you are looking into a popular band and thinking that you will be that, and then you are doing it. So
yes, yes.
that's where a lot of things just go for a toss.
Marketing comes into the play, right?
It does when you are looking into it as a business and stuff, but that's a very later stage. For someone
Okay,
who is starting out from college or starting out with a band, it should not be a concern at all.
okay, sure. So, how did As We Keep Searching come from there? From that track of Zindagi?
It's just like changing jobs.
Okay,
So you get into a company, you change jobs. So I think it's just the same thing for me as an individual. I landed up in Ahemdabad, met Shubham. I knew Shubham from a long time, but got time to finally sit in one place and write music together. And that's where it started from.
okay, okay. And I believe As We Keep Searching has a very unique sound. I think even you would agree to it. And it has a very specific fan base, you would say. And each and every fan base would relate to each other on a different level because of the kind of music that As We Keep Searching has. And where did that sound exactly come from, you think? Because it's not like any other band. Like even if you look at some of the popular bands here, some might sound like a Bollywood number. Some might sound like Guns N' Roses. Some might sound like Judas Priest. But yours is a sound which doesn't relate to any specific band that was there before.
What was the question? Come back again.
So, like, how do you have this unique sound?
Oh, okay. So yeah, I think I don't have answer to this because it's all about for us. It is more about using sounds which we love. That's it.
Okay,
And because I would give all credits to all the individuals in the band coming from different verticals and bringing different influences to the band.
okay,
And it's not just about a sound that three members or four members or the whole team working on it is in is stuck to.
okay.
Everyone has their own taste, and that mi- mixture is the result of the sound which is coming out. And I
Yes,
think our
as we,
sound
okay.
keeps on changing often from 2014 until today. It has changed a lot and it will still continue to keep changing because everyone's life is also changing with time and we are bringing in
True,
new
true, true.
experiences and new tastes.
Yes, yes. And you once mentioned this in an interview that all the members of As We Keep Searching listen to various different bands and listen come from various different types of music, and that kind of builds the sound that As We Keep Searching has. So does it often happen that there are misunderstandings, and someone wants to put in a different sound than what you would agree on?
While working as a team, it happens in every other place.
Yes,
Not
true.
just about band, but while working as a team, it is always you need to come on the same page as a team, not as an individual. So we and the team involved in working with us, everybody is um, very understanding, very accommodating, and very supportive to each other, which makes the whole process very easy to decide and
Okay.
execute. So I would say that, in short, everyone's taste matches. So
Okay.
whatever conversation we are having, whatever project we are working on, it just falls in the right blocks. Even if it is a little bit here and there, it is not so different from each other's taste that it would be discarded.
Okay. So as we keep searching is also one of those few bands in India that have toured internationally. You have been to Russia in 2016 and also Europe in 2018. Now, how is that experience different from touring in India? Like, obviously, it's very different, but like, could you tell it in words?
The first international tour is the first international tour. It's just like your first degree, your first cycle, everything, So it was definitely fantastic experience. I can't express the feeling in words, but great way to get your confidence boosted, definitely. And when you come back to India, you come back with a bag full of knowledge and experience, so that helps with the further of the career. And touring in western countries and touring in India is very different, because India does not have many places to tour except for universities. Like,
Yes.
venue wise, you don't have much of the cities, but our distances are very tough. So I would give all the like likes and support to the musicians from India who tour here relentlessly, because it's really tough touring in India. Not of just the show alone, but the whole logistical bit is so intense,
Yes.
and it would be impossible for a European band probably to tour in India in the same way how they do it in Europe. In Europe, it might look fancy with 20 shows in 30 days, but you can't do that in India. So,
Yes. True.
definitely things are way different than how it feels there and
And
here.
in Europe, you guys use the van for touring, right?
Yeah,
And you covered the whole place just by using the van completely
yeah,
and having your drum set and equipment all in that van and the band
exactly.
traveling together.
Yeah. It's a big one. So we were six of us fit inside, and then on our luggage. So definitely somewhere close to 200 kgs. So
Okay.
it was a big van, but
Okay.
at the same time, more than everything else, it was tough to be inside the van with the same band members always, all the time, day in, day out. So
Okay.
you feel like hitting each other, you feel like fighting, and it gets too much.
Yes, yes, yes. And you guys used to set up your own kit yourself completely, do the
Yeah.
whole sound check and everything. So how is that? Like here you have a team properly. In Europe and Russia, you exactly didn't have a team for that.
Yeah, we are spoiled here as musicians. Definitely, you get everything, and then you will complain about, hey, there's no carpet under the drum kit. There is no this particular skin that I wanted. But back there, you carry your own stuff. Otherwise, no one is there to help you. There are people to help you. They are like very amazing professionals who help you, but
Okay.
they help in a different way. Not like India, where in India you don't help. You just feed everything that you can.
Yes, 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 true. Like spoon feeding kind of.
Yeah.
So you have been doing your tour for Ru on. You were doing it on February and March, if I'm not wrong. And then after that came the pandemic, which completely changed everything for the band. If I'm not. So
Yeah,
how what was the impact that it had on you guys?
half of the change that you mentioned about me that I have sobered down is because of the pandemic.
Okay.
So out of all the times of listening to heavy music to ambient music, is like the pandemic has played the major role now, because no one expected this. I never expected this. So things have definitely changed. Things have changed in greater capacity, which I can or anyone in the industry can yet understand. So everyone is figuring it out their way. So let's see how it goes. But it has definitely impacted because all our work has stopped, and we we had plans which never got completed, so the plans got disrupted. So but the best part is that all the band members and the crew, they are like in good mental space as of now. So they have accepted the change and they have gotten back on track with life, which is fantastic. So
Yes.
now whenever things open up, we are ready to get back on it.
Yes. It's hope to see you guys. And one thing that I've seen in your social media, it was in the pandemic time that I noticed. You're a huge advocate for mindfulness and keeping a good mental health. So how did that journey start? Like for many people, it usually happens they encounter an incident in life, and that leads to them discovering any form of meditation. For you, it was mindfulness. So how did that happen?
Again, it started from the pandemic itself. So I used to meditate. I used to meditate because I believed in meditation even before pandemic, but it was not regular, or it wasn't so well thought about. So I wasn't spending time knowing what exactly it is. But with the pandemic, when I got locked down in Pune alone, and then uh, being alone was the biggest change of getting into mindfulness. And the whole process of surviving those times got me to understand meditation, mindfulness way better than how I used to think about it. So
Yes.
it has definitely helped, and I think it is a very powerful tool, and everybody should practice it. And as you mentioned, it should not be these are things which don't give you instant results. So but these are the most critical ones to actually bring a change in life. And I think meditation, mindfulness, everything else stems from it. Your professional life, your personal life, and everything stems from how you control your mind. And people have named it as meditation as a tool
Okay.
which can help you learn this skill. So yeah, so that has definitely changed, and I think people should not wait for adversity to approach to get into it. It should be a
Yes.
daily practice, just like how we daily feed our body with calories and air. We should feed our brain muscles with mindfulness and meditation.
It's true. And being present in the moment. I think that's the whole thing about
Otherwise,
mindfulness.
what else matters? Because nothing. It's just like our illusion and our regret from the past, and which does not matter. What matters is me and you talking at this point of time.
Yes, yes, yes. Being in the present moment. That is, I think, one thing even I have realized in the pandemic that our mind wanders a lot. And in the pandemic,
That is the job of the mind.
yes, yes, exactly. And in the pandemic, I've realized that yes, I might have some problem with my mind, but it turns out everybody is facing it. And
See,
mindfulness.
when the mind wanders, that's not the problem. The problem
Okay,
is if we are not noticing where it is going, what it is trying to tell.
okay,
So when it wanders, we try to escape it. We try to say like stop, like, and we fight to make it stop, which should not be the case. It should be like, okay, it is going in different directions. Let me also be open-minded in terms of letting it go and understanding very mindfully. Like, be cautious about what your mind is actually trying to do or say.
okay. So, like, what's your meditation routine? Like, do you meditate in the morning or you meditate sometimes?
I as much as if I'm not traveling, I would be meditating every day.
Okay,
I wake up, I start my day with warm water and honey, and then Either I'll be cleaning the house because that has become a practice now. So I clean the house and then I get into meditation, which would be like lasting for 10 to 15 minutes. Uh, I meditate once a day, but sometimes if I have a very stressful time or I do think that I need one more session, then I would be doing it before sleep.
Okay. So, relating to mental health, you also released an album, as we keep searching did. It's called Sleep. So, how did that come into being? And it has, I think it's meant for what its name is, for
It was
sleeping.
it was made thinking like that.
Okay.
People can take it. They are free to take it the way they want the
Okay.
music to come to them. But for us, it was more about. I was going through the whole phase of anxiety, and the band came on board to help create these sounds, which were always there in our music. It's just that we brought the sounds up front.
Okay.
Earlier, it used to be the background. So yeah, we had a fun time creating that album, and it just released in the right time when people wanted it.
Yes, it was the need of the hour, you could say.
Yeah, yeah,
Extremely helpful. And but after the pandemic, you guys did one show, which was in Urban Mantra and Guwahati, and you did it with an amazing musician, Shankaraj Kumar. So, how was that experience getting back on stage 1 year after, and after all of that has happened?
hey, it was fantastic. We see nothing can beat the feeling of being on stage. That is for sure. So it wins all your energy back. First of all, having Shankaraj on stage and collaborating was even further adding to the benefits because we were experiencing all the excitement and the whole joy of trying out new things, which
Yes.
was a key ingredient for this band. This band is more excited of trying out new things. Otherwise, it's not just music. We want to like explore as much as we can. So it got us back very excited and filled us with a lot of energy.
Yes, you in fact also worked with him on a new song, so
Yeah.
Avatar. And how did that song come into being? What was the
Um,
process
uh,
for?
it was process was all online WhatsApp
Okay, okay.
and meeting the band on a Zoom call and everyone discussion this doing the discussion bit in terms of hey what's up, how where do you live, what do you like eating. It was never a conversation about music. And then at
Okay.
last, before disconnecting, we spoke and said that okay, let us send you some options, see if you like it. He liked it, we liked it, and it just happened. And then the show came to us where we thought that let's do it now. What other better time it would be? You never know when the doors will be shut again.
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
so yeah, that was the moment.
That must have been really amazing for you guys. And I've heard about the show. It was pretty amazing. I wasn't Sikkim back then. I
Okay,
wish I was in Guwahati and I
next
would have
time.
gotten to see that. Yes, next time for sure. Now, other than that, you guys are currently working on the new album. And I have heard, like you mentioned it somewhere, I think, either in your Instagram or from As We Keep Searching, that the new album is going to be a little heavier. So, how different are we talking about?
Yeah, definitely. The new album will be definitely way heavier than our last sleep.
Yes,
So yeah, it will be back to Zia and back to being a heavy band. So, but in between releasing those songs, we might be having some more singles,
okay.
which will be again we can't decide what genre to keep it. But whenever the album comes, that will definitely be heavier and back to where we started from.
Yes, yes, yes. Your the most amazing thing about the band is my favorite thing about the band is the drumming. I think Sambit, like even in the song "Roo," I would say the drum plays a very important role, and every drum roll and every drum beat is just amazing.
So Roo was recorded by Gotham.
Okay,
So, but live, Sambit has played
okay, okay.
after Roo, the launch tour and stuff. So definitely the both are with different flavors, but I
Okay.
have been hearing this a lot about Sambit being very center of attraction in the band, which is because of his playing, because of his presence, because of how he puts himself right in the availability zone of audience as a drummer, which a lot of drummers can't, because they are at the back, and it's just not too
Yes, yes.
obvious for a
Even
drummer to
in
be
Kalra, he
interactive.
came forward. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh
He did
yeah,
the beatbox thing, and
exactly.
that
So
was really crowd engaging, and everybody was feeling it. Like they were all
yeah,
jamming to it, and
yeah,
it's completely like you said, crowd attraction. It's
exactly.
pure crowd attraction. And talking about Rue, there is a story about how Rue came, when you guys started writing the album, like how the title song came into being.
The song came because of Shubham. Shubham was planning to leave then,
Okay,
and then it became a little emotional, and then whole song about "Tu nahi to hai con, tu nahi to hai con" came. But then he decided to come back and not leave. So, but we still liked the song, so we kept it.
okay.
Yeah.
So one of the questions that we have from the band, from our chat is, how did the name came? How did the name come up? As we keep searching.
We wanted a name which does not just end there.
Okay,
So it was first mentioned as "We Keep Searching." So
okay,
something that you can continue writing your story with it. But we felt that it wasn't complete, so we added "As We Keep Searching."
okay.
You like the name?
Yes, the name is really amazing, and think it completely relates to what your music is trying to do. I mean, it's discovering new sounds. So it's like you are searching for a new sound. That's what I feel like.
Fantastic.
Yes, yes. And any more questions? Someone is asking, will you have a new member in your band?
Not really. So we
Okay,
are quite happy of how, because we did as a three-piece band, we have played a couple of shows before the second wave, and we were very convinced of how we have put it up, because initially it was definitely tough to imagine how it would be, but we have pulled it up. Everything is fine. We will be having guests for sure, because now we
okay,
have space for one more person to add their own flavors into it, so which will be interesting for us definitely.
okay, okay.
So we will be having guests wherever it is possible. Other than that, I think three of us are even better how it used to be.
Yes, 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 and totally. Yes, it looks pretty perfect now. The three-piece band, like Rush and Voice. And so, one more question. Artist. Okay. Will you be collaborating with any other artist soon?
uh, let's see.
Okay.
We have some names, but we haven't approached anyone yet. So it depends on. We are releasing an acoustic set.
Okay.
Like we have taken three songs from our previous album and made an acoustic version of it. So those three songs needs to come out. While in that time, we will see what way our life is taking us, and then decide what we really want to do. Then, if a collaboration calls for it, we would definitely approach whoever we think that our creation can fit into it. If collaboration does not come and we really want to make music, probably we will start making our album and finish it off.
Okay. And one other question we have: what is your favorite song among all the songs that you have made in As We Keep Searching, that
That's
you
a
have
tough.
really loved working on? I would say.
Uh, that's a tough one, because definitely we have worked on every song very dearly,
Yes, true.
but I don't listen to my songs, by the way.
Okay.
I listen to my songs only until the release date. So
Okay.
once it is released, it is, I can probably count it in my fingers that I haven't heard any song more than twice or thrice after
Okay.
release.
Okay.
So I don't listen to my songs because I think that part of the chapter of my story is done.
Mhm.
Now it's more about going forward and not bringing anything from there. That's my way of uh, considering how I think about my songs or whatever I create. So
Yes, yes.
in that way, I love everything. I hate everything. You know. So that's the bit.
Yes, you said a very great thing about your song that is it's about the audience. Your songs provide a very intimate experience, you could say. Even the song like Roo and the music video too. I mean, it has a really intimate feeling, one and a very personal one. You know, would you agree to that?
Our music has always been about being like taking it personally because I believe whoever are our fans, they are not fans for entertainment. They have taken our music and have understood our stories, have connected with our work in a certain way, which is very personal. So
Yes, yes.
when this whole personal aspect come into the picture, I think that's where, like how you mentioned in the starting of this interview, that we have a different set of fans.
Mm.
So that community is because everything is personal.
Yes, true, true. And you also released the song which is called Puhor. It was a solo work, you would say. How is working solo different from working in a band?
Well, very different. It's like I'm not waiting for anyone's approval. I'm not trying to convince anyone. I'm not trying to share my second thought or get mixed up in the whole songwriting process. It's like I'm my own boss. I have all the freedom to work upon things, which is different, which is great, which is amazing. So, and it is, I have learned is that because I was trying to work on my solo stuff, I also learned so many new skills with production, using the laptop, which I eventually now also use with as we keep searching. So it's a great way if someone is in the band should also explore things as a solo artist, even if you are not releasing, but explore it so that you get to know yourself a little better than how you know it already.
Okay. And any advice for people who are starting off with recording instruments or beat keys from their own homes and rooms?
Not really. Nowadays, everybody can record from home. It doesn't have to be studio specific.
Yes.
And you should record more and more. That's what I think.
Experience is the true teacher.
Yeah, I think my experience will never work for you. Someone
Okay.
else's experience will never work for you. So it's all about getting back to the desk and doing it again and again, again and again.
Yes, yes, yes. I totally agree with that. And so we are at the end of the podcast now. And final advice for any starting musicians, like given the current situation of how the world is going and how the music industry is going in India, what would be your advice for budding artists and musicians?
Whew. I think we budding artists or people who are established or people like us, we all are on the same page for the first time. So
Okay.
because everything has brought down the whole industry to a level where it's the same for a new artist or me or anyone else. So I think it's more about being a little more patient first and then taking care of your mental well-being. That's
Yes.
very important. Then taking care of your physical body. I
Yes.
think
Yes.
these are the things which needs to be taken care of. Then everything else will fall in place.
Yes.
It's
Yes. Yes. I
completely
have.
not related to music, but trust me, these are the things that someone should be focusing upon. And when your life is all about taking things a little slower than how everybody makes you feel that you should take in a fast paced world, when you take it slow, you start discovering new things, and that's how it should be. we were never meant to be under 5G connection, and our life should not be 5G connection. It was meant to be in the woods and in a slow pace, but we have completely disrupted that. Which is
Yes,
why
yes.
we keep thinking, what is now? Now the pandemic has come. What do we do now? How it should go? No one knows, trust me. So it's all about being patient, taking care of yourself, and keep doing music, which we are already doing it. I, even though if I try not doing music, but after 14, 15 days, I'll get back to my system and I'll play music and I'll get into it.
Yes, yes. And before we leave this, one thing that I ask all musicians: what are you currently listening to?
Currently, what am I listening to? I'm listening to some, to be honest, house music
Okay.
and very electronica stuff. So this new artist called that I have discovered, which I'm sure people already know from a long time, but I just fell in love with his music. Ben Bomber.
Okay.
So Ben Bomber has become a very, that sound and the style of music. I just started listening to it a lot. So that has helped, and I'm also trying to explore more music where people use um, calculated reverb into vocals. So
Okay.
like it has a lot of reverb, but it does not sound a lot of reverb. So I'm trying to explore that kind of soundscapes.
Okay. Okay. So I think that's it for now. And thank you so much for joining. I hope the our audience has enjoyed this talk a lot. And obviously, we'll be taking a lot from this podcast, especially on mental health. And being aware about it is very important. I truly agree. So thank you so much, Uddipan
Thank
sir,
you,
for joining.
Mudasir. Thank you so much for having me. It was
And hope to
fantastic.
see you on tour once again.
I hope to come back, and this time, whenever I come to Sikkim, I'll definitely make sure that we stay back for a couple of days and not just rush around playing a show and returning home.
Yes, yes, definitely. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Mudasir. Bye bye.
Bye.
पीछे पीछे आंदा मेरे चल बनाई पीछे पीछे आंदा मेरा चल बनाई तेरा वालियां ने वेखदा वे